If I had to learn Azure from scratch today, I would ignore about 90% of the advice you find on Reddit, on LinkedIn, and honestly, on YouTube. The roadmap that worked in 2019 does not work in 2026 anymore. The AI tools changed it, the job market changed it, and the certification completely changed it. Most of the people giving cloud roadmaps right now are giving you 2019, 2020 advice with the dates on it. I want to give you the actual 2026 version, the one I would hand to myself if I could go back 6 years. Hi there, my name is Parveen Singh. I run a cloud consulting firm called TechRep Digital, and I built a cloud training platform called CloudLearn. I've been deep into Azure for almost a decade and 8 plus years of production work and 10 plus certification in Microsoft. And I've trained a lot of people throughout my career journey, including workshop, working at a e-training company, and boot camps. If you find this helpful, pump the subscribe button and come join my learning community. Now, let's get into it. So here's the thing. The cloud career path I followed in 2017, the one most YouTuber creators in their space followed, looks like this. Get AZ900, AZ104, AZ303 or 305, which is the new one, and memorize a lot of portal blades. And then go apply for a cloud engineer role, build experience over time, and that path worked. And I'm the proof that it worked. But the world changed under that path. Three big things shifted. Number one, the AI absorbed the part of the cloud job that was knowing the syntax, the bicep template, the Terraform config, the kubectl. You can prompt your way to write the syntax right now. So the skill that used to take months to build is now a 30-second prompt. The career doesn't stop existing, but the leverage point moved. Number two, the cloud engineer job title fragmented. Companies don't hire generalists at the entry level the way they used to. They hire platform engineers, AI infrastructure engineer, FinOps analyst, or cloud security engineers. Specialty wins over generality on the resume in 2026. And number three, production experience matters more than ever, but it's getting harder to reach there. The entry-level cloud roles got more competitive because juniors are competing with the AI-augmented mid-level engineer for the same simple task works. So the roadmap has to adapt, and here's what I would do. I would break the first 18 months into 5 phases. Each phase has a specific goal, and each phase has a specific deliverable. And you don't move to the next phase until the previous deliverable exists. Phase number one is orient, which is 2 to 4 weeks. The goal here is just to understand what Azure is, not how to use it. What it is, so you can read documentation without getting lost. You can listen to a conversation about cloud architect without nodding politely. You can name the services in the major categories, which is compute, function, or storage. The deliverable here is to pass AZ900, and that's the only certification I would recommend in the first 6 months. It's cheap, it's quick, and it's broad, and sometimes there are free certification exam vouchers everywhere for you to go and use them without having to spend money. Don't spend more than 4 weeks here. AZ900 is just an orientation, it's not the credentialing. Phase number 2 is where you build something real, which is about 6 to 8 weeks. This is the phase 90% of the beginners skip, and it's phase that makes the entire roadmap work. Pick a project that solves a real problem in your own life. Don't find a tutorial project, not a lab. Something you would actually use. For example, a personal cost tracker that pulls your Azure spend into a dashboard. Or maybe a serverless function that emails you when the stock hits a target price. Or it could be a static site for your resume that you auto deploy from a GitHub when you push a commit. These projects don't have to be impressive. It has to be real. You have to build it with infrastructure as code, Bicep or Terraform. Both are fine. But Bicep is easier if you're going to stay Azure only. Terraform is better if you want multi-cloud layer. Either way, I have courses on both of them on my YouTube channel. Everything you write has to be written in the code. Everything is in the Git and everything is deployable from a pipeline. Deliverable here is a public GitHub repo with a working code, a README that explains what it does, live URL, and a running service that somebody can verify. The phase number 3 is pick a specialty. 2 to 4 weeks of research has to be done here. This is where most roadmap fails you. They tell you to keep learning Azure as if Azure is the only thing. It is definitely not the only thing in cloud. It is a continent, and you don't move to a continent, you move to a city. Look at the job market in your region, read the job description, notice what titles are actually hired for. In 2026, the most aggressive hiring is done for platform engineering, the AI infrastructure role, cloud security, and FinOps. SR is also there, but that one usually want more general experience first. So pick one, just one. Read 3 or 4 job posting in that specialty and write down every single skill. Look at the skills under the required and preferred, and that's what becomes your study plan for next phase. The deliverable here is just a one-pager document that names your specialty, your top 5 skills, your specialty, your top 5 skills it requires, and 3 job posting that you want to qualify for in next 12 months. The phase number 4 is build expertise in specialty, which is going to take you about 3 to 6 months. Now you take a specialty cert. Maybe it's 204 if you want to go into development stuff, or maybe it's 500 if you want to go into security. Maybe 102 if you want to go into more of AI stuff. The certification is third or fourth in the sequence. Definitely not the first. But the cert is the easy part. The hard part is shipping the project that proves the specialty. If you pick the platform engineering, build something with Bicep module, GitHub Action, and a developer experience layer such as Backstage. If you picked security, do a hands-on conditional access deployment with Entra ID, publish architect diagrams, write up these threat models. If you picked AI, deploy an open source model with Azure ML, Azure OpenAI, or work on documentation and the cost modeling. The deliverable here is 2 more public projects, both in the specialty and both deployed in Azure. And more importantly, both of them documented well enough for somebody to read. The phase number 5 is getting visible. The job market in 2026 rewards engineers who are more visible, not viral. You just need to be visible out there. That means LinkedIn presence where you post about what you're working on, GitHub profile that show recent activity, a short blog or a video where you describe what you broke and how you fixed it. You don't need a million followers. You just need 300 specific people, recruiter, hiring manager, and fellow engineer in your specialty to know that you exist. That changes the math on every job application you ever send. The thing you need to do here is post at least once a week on LinkedIn about your work. You have to do it for at least 3 months. Most people quit after 1 month, and don't be the most people. And here's the biggest mistake I see in the beginners. They front load the certification and backload all the projects. They spend 9 months grinding certification and then realizing they have nothing to put on GitHub. And by that point, the certification is old, the job market has moved, they are competing against people who shipped real things. The order is project first and certify second. The cert prepares you for production, but the production teaches you what the cert was actually trying to say. If you only do certification, and there are very few of those companies, and if you do only projects, you sometimes get filtered out by AI screening resumes that look for certification keywords. You do definitely need both, but the project is the centerpiece. The cert is the supporting cast. The other mistake I see people is using cloud engineer as your target role. The title is fragmenting. Aim at the specialty, platform engineering, AI infrastructure, cloud security. The more specific you are about the role, the more wins you will see. Alright, that's exactly how I would learn Azure in 2026 if I was starting from scratch. Orient with AZ900, build a real skill or a project, pick a specialty, deepen with certification plus more projects, and finally get some visibility out there on LinkedIn. The whole loop is going to take you about 18 months and should land you in a specialty role with a portfolio and a network. This is not a generic cloud engineer job. It is something more tighter, something that pays better, something you would actually want. If you're in the phase 1 right now and have questions, drop them in the comments. I read them and reply to every single one of them. And if there's a phase you want me to go deep on, tell me which one and I'll make a full video for that phase only. If you found this helpful, pump the subscribe button and come join my learning community at cloudlearn.io. We built a lot of project-based labs that I described in phase 2 and phase 4, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious and keep building.